Hi everyone, I hope all of you are doing fine and staying healthy. I'm sure by now all of you are bored. I'm still fortunate enough to go outside my house and do some work. So I'm sure by now all of you watched all your movies that you wanted to watch, every video on YouTube. And from the comments that I received, the video that I posted, it was like a little sunshine, a little light in your life that made you forget about everything that's going on. So once again, I'm just gonna go over this latest knife that I posted. So it all started from a piece that I cut off. You've seen it in the video, it fell off. I had a lot of requests on my YouTube channel to make this knife, and I had a little piece left off, so I used it. It's a 1075. Even though I write in my videos, I show people what steel it is, the thickness, I still get comments. What kind of steel did you use? How thick is it? So I don't know. I don't know what else to do. But anyway, I'm just gonna go over with you guys and talk about this knife. I started this knife in beginning of January of this year, 2020, and finished it in April. Somebody commented that I probably made this knife while sitting home on a quarantine, but no, I'm still working, and that's why you guys still don't see a lot of videos from me. The comment that I've seen the most is that I needed a lathe, or I need to purchase a lathe, because they saw how much time it took for me to make this. And when I started this knife, when I got to the pommel, I got an offer to go to my friend's house, Nelson, and he lives about an hour and a half away from me, and he did offer me to use a lathe to turn this, but I told him, let me work on it, and if I fail, then I'll come over to your place. And this was before all this outbreak happened. But if I would have made this on a lathe, I don't think it would have been, I wouldn't think it would make such a big impact on the video as if the way I did it by hand. So I think a lot of people appreciated to see it being done by hand versus the lathe. What did I learn from this build? Well, the thing that made it challenging is keeping all the 4 plunge lines symmetrical. The other one is keeping this center line straight, especially at the tip. Here's the balance point. The thing that I learned the hard way was don't over tighten your handles with the clamps. So I was drilling this handle, and for some reason I over tightened it. As soon as I took it off the clamp and I tried to slide it on, it came apart. So it doesn't matter how good your glue is, how good of a glue fit you did. If you put enough pressure on the handles, they're gonna break. This is not steel. So I thought I learned my lesson, and I did it the second time. So this bottom piece, the black G10 fiberglass, is glued to the white G10 fiberglass, and I over tightened it. So basically the piece was not shaped or round, perfectly round, and when I tighten it, I over tighten it between the 2 parts, and I snapped it in half. But a little bit of glue, everything's fine now. I wanted to make grooves for the thumb, but I don't have any tools to do that kind of work, so I skipped that part. I know there was one person that commented, I want to see how you're gonna do it, and I'm sorry I failed you. Also, I wanted to make a thinner guard, because before I started making this knife, I did a little bit of research, and I looked up about the 1st Special Service Force. They're called Devil's Brigade, and they all said that this part, the handguard, had to be thinner or match the handle. This way, when they put the thumb, see how it's in the way? they want it to be nice and flat, smooth transition, so they redesigned the knife and made it much thinner at the handguard. I didn't do it because, let me show you. When I lay it, it lays nice and flat, and it's it's parallel with the ground. So that's the biggest reason. I mean, I still could, I don't know, follow the outline and make a little, ground out this portion right here. Make a little oval opening. This way the finger or the thumb would lay better grip, but I'm happy with it. I'm not gonna do anything. The pommel is very, very pointy, so a slight pressure brings very uncomfortable feeling. If you want to know what it feels like, take this screw, sheetrock screw, and I got a feeling like I could put more pressure with the screw versus, yeah, this screw is not even sharp or pointy as this one. So this one is, I wouldn't want to get with it. Nah. There were a lot of comments agreeing with me that I made this point longer, because the original version is it's short, and I think the longer one makes it look better. One of you commented, how long did I think about how to make this pommel? And I'll be honest with you guys, from the day that I started, I didn't know if I was gonna have a, this part would be cut off. Let me see. I didn't know if I was gonna have this piece or not, and my first idea was to drill and tap inside of it, but because the piece that I cut off, the piece that I had to work with, it wasn't long enough, so I had to make an extension to go inside. So that's the biggest reason why I made this piece right here, to basically extend this part out to fit the whole handle. So that's why I extended it. But yeah, I was thinking about how to make this pommel all the way through the build. Once I had my handle done, everything, then I decided to make this. So yeah, pretty challenging, but I think it made a good impression on everybody. And for most part, when I don't know how to finish a knife, I just start making it and work part by part. Once I get to that part, then I think about how I'm gonna do it. So far I've been fortunate enough to come up with ways to finish a knife. The reason why I use the belt grinder to sharpen it is because if you use a sharpener like Lansky or some, or any sharpener, you can't get a good bite on this to sharpen it, and the angle, because it's so narrow, the bevel is so narrow, you can't sharpen it. So it's not paper sharp, it's not gonna cut paper, but it's sharp enough. I've seen a picture of the Devil's Brigade soldier, and he held it in his like that, and they took a picture of him. So I don't think the edges are sharp in the original ones, but correct me if I'm wrong. But if he had it in his mouth like that, I don't know, I would be afraid to cut myself, but it's sharp enough to do what it needs to do. But I mean, the main point of this dagger is to not cut. So this knife is not for sale, because my daughter wants it and she's gonna get it. So thanks for watching, everybody. Oh, also there was a question if I'm gonna make a sheath for it. I wanted to make a leather sheath. I wanted to go see my friend Nelson, but because of stay-at-home deal, can't travel just because, and I don't know if I can go there to his place. I wanted to make a video how he makes a sheath for it, but I don't know if that's gonna happen or not. So I might just make a Kydex sheath out of a really nice Kydex, and that should do it for it. One more question was, when I heated the oil, I used the chain. I used the chain to warm it up in the forge, and then I dipped it into the oil. If that was my idea or somebody else's idea, I haven't seen anybody do that, so I think I'll be the first one. If you guys know anybody doing that, because usually people they heat up some chunk of steel and then they dip it in the oil to warm it up to what is it, 140 degrees, 120 degrees, something like that, Fahrenheit. But I used the chain, so that's what I had. So thank you guys for watching the video. I hope I answered your questions. Stay healthy, stay safe, and I bought a second 2x42 grinder. I have to work on it, modify it a little bit, so I'll have two grinders right now. I'll try to convert one for a vertical and one horizontal, and I gotta put a glass platen on it, all that good stuff. So because on the old one the glass platen is coming off, so I gotta work on those two. Once I think I'll make a video how I customize them. Once that's done, I have a awesome video coming up, or a knife build. It's gonna be Damascus dagger. It's gonna look nice. Alright, take care guys, stay safe, bye bye.